The vibe in the recording of this was, on the basic track, was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it's one of the best experiences of my life, really, in my professional life, because first of all, I got off the plane, drove right to Woodstock and directly to the studio. And we cut the basic track probably 2 hours after that, and it was basically done. Everybody, the band was incredible. There was Donald Fagen was there, and Larry Campbell was the musical director and playing guitar, and Carlton, of course, who wrote the song, and his band. And they were just a bunch of brilliant musicians. Zach Alford, I knew the drummer. There wasn't the slightest bad vibe from anyone. I mean, from the time I walked in to the time I left, like whatever it was, 4 days later, not the slightest. Nobody was upset about anything. No egos whatsoever that I detected. And it went pretty flawlessly, really. Justin Guit, the engineer, was amazing. And I usually engineer because that's what I do, but having him do it was just a fantastic thing for me, because it was a whole part of the thing I didn't have to think about. I could think more about the music, and I just can't say enough about the organization and everybody who put this thing together. Taj Mahal, I think, is fantastic. I've always been a big fan of Taj Mahal when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, and so it was great to actually mix something that he was singing on. Jimmy Barnes is amazing, an Australian singer who I worked with back in the 80s. I've always been a big fan of his, and to go from a voice like, let's say, Carly Simon, who is also fantastic, to a Jimmy Barnes who was just like crazy, almost a heavy metal type voice, was a fascinating sort of eclectic change, and things like that. Eric Burdon, I thought, was truly amazing, because I was also a big fan of his when I was a kid. He was a big singer in the 60s with the Animals, and this guy still totally has it. He just put in an incredible performance. Most of the singers sang on their own individually, and so we ended up with people singing harmony with each other who had never seen each other, never been in the studio together. And so that was tricky. I mean, we had to do a little bit of, I hate to say, it's just a slight bit of technical maneuvering to get some of that to work. Yeah, that was quite a process. I mean, Larry Campbell was totally the guy the architect of that, I feel. And he's just so good at voices and hearing where each singer would shine, and would add the most to the track. And now that he's so musical that he, okay, this person's singing the root, and now we need somebody singing the third here, and it'd be nice to get a three-part and try to pick the vocals. And some people actually ended up singing harmony parts without even realizing it, just sort of improvising on the melody. So it worked out quite well. Well, the goal of this project is really to raise awareness of who Amnesty International is.